helpmewithstats.com was used to create this tutorial that can help us create a frequency histogram. Let's create a frequency histogram with a set of SAT scores. The RAF method starts with R for range. The range is calculated by subtracting the lowest score from the highest score. With these SAT scores, the highest score is 800, and the lowest score is 450, so the range is 800 minus 450, which equals 350. Next, we calculate the interval by dividing the range by 10 so that we can have approximately 10 intervals. Our calculated interval is 350 divided by 10, which is 35. We round up to the next round number of 40, which will give us slightly fewer levels than 10, which is fine. The first interval starts at our lowest score of 450 and goes up to 480. Our interval size is 40, but we only add 30, because the interval 450 to 480 is actually 40 points wide because all scores are divisible by 10. 450 to 480 will include 4 possible scores of 450, 460, 470 and 480. The next interval starts at 490 and continues to 520. Again, 520 minus 490 is only 30, but the interval is actually 40 points wide because it contains 490, 500, 510, and 520. Let's create the rest of the intervals. Now, let's count the frequencies for each interval. Here are the individual scores. We need to group the scores for each interval. There are 5 scores, which are between 450 and 480, so we indicate that in the frequency table. Let's continue with the next interval of 490 to 520. But we don't have any scores in this interval, so we put a 0 in the frequency table. Let's continue this process for all of the score intervals, filling in the frequencies in the table. Now we can create the histogram. Let's start by putting the category names on the x-axis and the frequency for each interval on the y-axis. We've made 6 the highest y value because it's nice to have a little extra space at the top of the histogram. 5 is the maximum frequency. We can now create the column for the first interval of 450 to 480. The height of the column is 5, so let's create that column. Let's create the next column for the interval 490 to 520. The frequency is 0, so we don't need to create a column. Let's create the columns for the rest of the intervals. At this point, our frequency histogram is complete. For more help with statistics, helpmewithstats.com is a free website that has more than 70 tutorials, as videos, or as self-paced slideshows. You can also learn how to conduct more than 60 statistical analyses by watching videos that show complete solutions, or by working through an unlimited number of examples using the step-by-step problem solvers. Finally, you can access a comprehensive stats textbook with more than 685 review questions. Thanks for watching. If you find these resources valuable, please share with your friends, teachers, and professors.